So, lads, this is not a great look for the Indiana Fever organization. If you've got Caitlin Clark, the star of the Indiana Fever, she's going and seeing whatever about not seeing the Indiana Fever's doctors. Like, it is what it is with that. It is what it is. Like, I think a lot of players and teams get second opinions. But if you haven't seen here, Stephanie White says there's no update on Caitlin Clark or potential timeline. She met with another doctor, but White says she hasn't spoken with the trainer.
The superstar who reignited Indiana's basketball scene just sent the loudest message in WNBA history without uttering a single word. Caitlin Clark, the undeniable face of women's basketball and the kind of player who sells out arenas like it's a Taylor Swift concert, has reportedly cut off all communication with the Indiana Fever's medical staff following her latest groin injury.
Pretty much kind of leaked out the bag to the team that she was kind of going to get a second opinion. To me, an athlete like Caitlin Clark on her level, she should have been getting these second opinions. She should have been hearing from all these other doctors, man. But Stephanie White spoke to the media yesterday. She really didn't give a whole lot, but she did say that Caitlin Clark was in New York meeting with other doctors. Now, with all of that being said, what does the timetable look like to me for Caitlin Clark coming back? I keep telling y'all, around the 17th to the 30th of August.
And honestly, it's long overdue that someone called out this franchise for treating a once-in-a-generation talent like a bench warmer in someone else's story. Here's what's really unfolding behind the scenes at Gainbridge Fieldhouse and why Caitlin Clark could be plotting her exit from Indiana sooner than expected.
She has met with a different doctor. And she won't even give an update to the team. Not, oh yeah, she's met with a different doctor and we're waiting on an update. She's waiting, or not even, well, that's basically it. They're waiting on, she's gone to a different doctor and they've heard nothing.
If you're enjoying the story, don't forget to subscribe. When Caitlin Clark limped off the court on July 15th against the Connecticut Sun, clutching her right groin in visible pain, it wasn't just another injury, it was the tipping point. Sources are now calling it a Kawhi Leonard situation, where a superstar completely loses trust in the team's medical department.
News: Caitlin Clark. Following a July 15th injury to her right groin, Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark underwent further medical evaluations earlier this week. The team can confirm that no additional injuries or damage were discovered through the evaluations. Clark will continue working with the Fever medical team on her recovery and rehabilitation, with the priority on her long-term health and well-being. There is no timetable available for Clark's return, and no additional details will be provided at this time. Any further updates will be shared as they become available.
Clark has sustained four separate muscle injuries this season: a left groin strain, a left quadriceps issue, and now a right groin strain. For a player who never missed a game during her college career at Iowa or her WNBA rookie season, this string of injuries isn't just coincidence, it screams medical negligence.
The internet noticed something specific that Holly Rowe had to say on the broadcast. Holly Rowe said that before the last return after a quad injury, she had no practice time, which, if that's actually true, like if she wasn't practicing, if she wasn't going full speed, then why was she returning to the court? And that's actually something that I pointed out. I believe it was Scott Agnes reported that Caitlin had gone full speed in practice, but there was only one practice that she had gone full speed. And
the breaking point came when Clark was rushed back from her earlier groin strain, only to re-injure it just a few games later. Sources close to the situation say Clark informed team officials, "I'm getting my own doctors. I'm done with our medical staff." She has since sought treatment from external physicians and refuses to share updates with the team's trainers.
Clark's team has made it known, we are going to be holding her out until she is fully recovered. We are not going to be rushing her back at all. After taking Indiana Fever's advice, eventually Caitlin Clark needs to take matters into her own hands, make decisions for herself, and I believe that's what we are seeing with the team that she now has surrounding her.
Let's break down the facts the Indiana Fever doesn't want public. Clark's injury timeline reads like a cautionary tale. On May 3rd, she sat out the exhibition opener with left leg soreness. On May 26th, She missed her first career game due to a left quad strain. In June, she was sidelined for 5 games because of a left groin injury. On July 15th, she sustained a right groin injury late in the game against the Connecticut Sun. By July 24th, the Fever announced there would be no timetable for her return and gave no further details. That's 11 regular season games missed, plus the Commissioner's Cup final, almost half of the WNBA season, lost to recurring soft tissue injuries. Injuries that should have been preventable with proper conditioning and medical oversight.
The people were speculating that Caitlin Clark injury could be much worse than expected. You know, these type of injuries and the way she's been getting these injuries is not normal. To have these strains back to back to back like this, and I said this before, Caitlin Clark mobility is off, bro. I believe she might have came back too fast from the first. We all know the first one went down around the 25th of May. Then she came back and got re-injured around the 4th of July to the 5th, somewhere up in there of July. And then that brings us until now.
But here's where things get even more concerning. Clark reportedly went to New York for second opinions without notifying the Fever's medical staff. Head coach Stephanie White even admitted she hadn't spoken to the trainers about the results from Clark's outside doctors. When your franchise player goes rogue on her own medical decisions, it's no longer just about injury, it's about total loss of trust. Fans thought White would be an upgrade over Christy Sides, especially with her credentials: 2023 WNBA Coach of the Year, a championship ring as a Fever player, but instead, it seems like she's trying to fix what was never broken.
Only good news about today is Caitlin Clark is no longer dealing with Stephanie White and these coaches and this Indiana Fever medical staff, trainers, doctors, none of that. She's seeing her own medical doctors, her own team. That's the only good news of today. She has abandoned the Indiana Fever medical staff, and I'm happy about it. I'm happy about it. She's pulling a Kawhi Leonard, what he did with the San Antonio Spurs, letting it be known, hey, look, I'll get back to y'all when I'm ready. I'm going with my own medical staff. Y'all can beat it, kick rocks, and I stand with you, Caitlin Clark.
Here's the inconvenient truth nobody wants to admit: Christy Sides knew how to use Caitlin Clark. Whatever her other coaching flaws, she understood one essential rule: when you have a generational talent, you build around them. You don't try to force them into a system that stifles their strengths. Sides handed Clark the reins, gave her the ball, let her run the offense at her own rhythm, and the magic followed. The result: Clark's record-breaking rookie stats, a playoff berth, the team's first since 2016, sold-out arenas across the country. Now, White's comments about making Clark play off the ball and having to main ball handlers shows a complete disconnect from what makes Clark elite. You don't take the ball out of Magic Johnson's hands because the defense tightens. You don't bench Michael Jordan because he's double-teamed. And you absolutely don't relegate Caitlin Clark to a role player just because your system can't handle her greatness.
The problem of this team is Stephanie White. It's Stephanie White. It's not Caitlin Clark. A great player don't all suddenly sucks. That doesn't happen. It's strategic. And everybody saying that they played better without Caitlin Clark. No. Actually, even this loss, Caitlin Clark gives them a better chance. They're under 500 without Caitlin Clark.
The clearest sign of Clark's growing frustration came after the Fever's loss to the New York Liberty. On July 22nd, photos emerged of Clark and her agent in what appeared to be a private meeting with Liberty coach Sandy Brondello and stars Breena Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu in the tunnel of the Barclays Center. This wasn't a casual post-game chat. When your agent is present and you're talking with another team's coach and star players, that's a business meeting. The message? Loud and clear. While Indiana fumbled their handling of a superstar, the Liberty were already making their pitch. Multiple sources say Clark has effectively fired the Fever's medical staff and replaced them with her own. She's now seeing specialists in New York and withholding medical updates from the team. This kind of medical standoff is unprecedented in the WNBA and mirrors what happened with Kawhi Leonard in San Antonio. Experts believe Clark's recurring groin and quad injuries point to flawed conditioning programs or poor rehab protocols.